Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live that loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the morning. And good morning, Fred. And look, I'm going to give Fred and I'm going to give Ken both some credit where a lot of their fan bases have ghosted on shows after this weekend. And why have they ghosted on the weekend? And not to rub salt into an open wound, Ken, but I'm going to add salt.
On the fake, Williams looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it all! It is caught! Bears win it! DJ Moore!
I know that's painful, Ken. I'm sorry. But
hey, the Bears won on an absolute miracle. What can I say?
I'm going to talk about that play in a little bit, but then the other thing happened. I don't have the video footage from the end of the Lions game, but that was just an insanely whatever game, the whole game. The ending was even more insane with the penalty, which was a good call on Amon St. Brown for the push-off, the end zone. But the fact that, what killed me was when they have the conference, everyone's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. The ref comes out and says, well, it was a touchdown by Jared Goff. And everyone, the fans are like, yeah, we won the game, yeah. But there's a flag on the play. It's like, dude, just lead with there's a flag on the play.
No. Don't lead with that. You got to go out there and rip some fucking hearts out with this shit.
I swear that ref ripped up hearts. Hey, good morning, you jackwagon. Thank you so much for winning yesterday.
I was gonna say nothing like having Rodgers as a quarterback out there ending the Lions playoff hopes.
So here's the thing to all those Packers, Lions, Vikings fans who at the beginning of the year, and I can dig up tape if I really must and edit a cool little thing in CapCut, maybe I will. When I said we were doing a prediction, so look, at the Bears would be an 8 to 10 win team, dark horse for the playoffs, and I heard you're effing delusional, you're a joke, there's no way, stop smoking the crack, blah, 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 blah. How many teams in the NFC North have clinched a playoff berth at this point in time, Ken?
I think just the one, because I think Green Bay has to win one more.
And what team would that be, Ken, that clinched a playoff berth?
The Chicago Bears.
Oh, the Bears. You mean the team I said it would be a dark horse and was laughed at for saying that. Thank you, Fred.
Because I'll tell you straight up, I thought that they were a 7 to 10 win team, but I was banking on the fucking 7, and I said maybe you'll get a wild card.
But I mean, look, that's the difference between people who talk ball and people who talk trash, though, Ken. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, look, they're between 7 and 10. If they get to the 10, they're a dark horse. The logic of your argument flows. Then you had people like, oh, they'll be lucky to win 5. Like, dude, do you even watch football at this point? You know, when you were saying that at the beginning of the year. Do you even watch football?
It was still a toss-up at the beginning of the year, which it was going to be, because we saw you've had teams that have had a shit ton of talent, get a hot new head coach, and completely flounder.
Oh, no.
You also see the inverse of it.
In politics and football terms. It was, oh, I'm a Packers fan. I hate the Bears, so I'm going to say it this way. I mean, let's be honest and let's be real here. But that's fine. I forgive John Dorn. Maybe not so much Rob, but Dorn, yes. Or the other Rob. But my favorite quote of the season so far was still Rob Haskell's in week 1. 7 minutes in the first quarter of week 1. Our season's over. And then, of course, they came back to win that game. And then Vikings fans started doing a little bit of this, and I feel sorry for them because their
I
season, man,
I
JJ
I
McCarthy is not the
I
answer.
I never feel sorry for a Vikings fan. Fuck that whole franchise. They ended up with Brett Favre after that. I could care less about anything that happens to them bad.
See, Fred, that was respectable though. 6-9 is respectable. I would be like, okay, they're building. These other guys were being completely outright disrespectful. Like they won 5 games the year prior. Oh, they'll do the same thing or worse. Like, really, dude? Like, that's a little respectful. Say, okay, and that was after we saw the additions that were made to the O line and the coaching change and a lot of the other
But we
changes.
we also, to be fair to the other argument, is we saw with the Jets a high-priced offensive line does not always equal it coming out to being one of the best lines. Because the Jets went out and
Um,
they got a shit ton of people and spent some money.
Actually, Ivan, you're wrong. I can say that because we did it in 2018 with Matt Nagy. The Packers did it with when LaFleur came on. A lot of first-time head coaches actually have. Look at this year. Look at 3 teams that have clinched playoff berths: Chicago, Jacksonville. Those 2 firstly, and then lastly, New England. What's a current theme with all 3 of those teams, Ken?
No, they happen to be in the playoffs.
What else? They all have brand new head coaches. 2 of them are rookie head coaches.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's now at where it's a crapshoot history wise. You're it's almost to where at least in my mind right now to where it's dead even to where he's either going to be a bust or he's going to be awesome, and we don't really have a majority.
And look at yeah, dude, they have to have time to come back. And let me go back up to Ivan here, right? Ivan, I wasn't saying 8 to 10 wins with a bunch of unproven rookies. I mean, what are the unproven rookies that the Bears were projecting to start at the end of the beginning of the year? Colson Loveland, along with a veteran in Cole Kmet, right? Ozzie Trapillo was not. We were looking at a different left tackle. He's the left tackle now. It wasn't. We weren't banking on Monangai at that point. It was Roshan Johnson. So, in terms of the Bears pick, it wasn't that. And I think maybe I'm getting to what you're trying to say now. Saying the Bears were going to be a 6-1 team wasn't. Yeah, okay. So I am addressing it. There wasn't a bunch of rookies that we were counting on. I mean, so to say that Ben Johnson couldn't get the 6 to 10 wins, I don't understand your argument then, because it was a totally
He's saying
fair.
what he's saying is it was just as likely that he was going to get just a couple of wins his first season as it was going to be to that 6 to
Well,
10.
but I mean, okay, I can get that, but I can get that if you're, let's say, a team that had nothing. I mean, we all knew this team had a lot of talent. We knew it last year, and that Eberflus couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. We knew that, right? So, I mean, I get Ivan's argument, and I see where Ivan's argument is coming from, but he's obviously not looking at that Bears roster that they had coming into the season with the personnel. I mean, coaching matters. We all know that.
Well,
We knew they had a good roster.
I was going to say we've seen dream teams just turn to absolute shit.
Right, but his thing was about all these. His first comment about depending on a bunch of rookies and that it's not. How come the one that picks up? I get what you're putting down, Ivan. You're just not right. You're wrong because you obviously didn't look at the Bears roster. The Bears roster this season was unproven, so DJ Moore was unproven. Jalen Johnson unproven. There was no data. There was at least a full season with 90% of that roster. The only part that was unproven as far as being together was the interior of that offensive line. On that, I would agree with you. The defense was a top 10 defense from last year coming in. It's funny because it's not a top 10 defense. The defense is actually worse now than we thought it would be The offense is a lot better than we thought. We knew DeAndre Swift had 950 rushing yards against the worst offensive line in football last year. So there was a ton of data, Ivan. So saying that the Bears at the beginning of the year was going to be between a 6 to 10 win team would be a good argument to make. To say they're going to be a 4-win team would have been a bad argument because they have more talent on that roster than say, I don't know, Nashville, than Tennessee.
You just saw the year before the Jets had a shit ton of talent on their roster too. They went out and got the huge name free agents for their offensive line, and everything just absolutely
God,
crumbled.
Ivan. Okay, I could start going over Brisker. I can go over Montez Sweat. I can go. I mean, I just named a couple. You want me to name the whole roster so you can? The Bears were not a roster of rookies. God, I love these people.
Hey, good morning, Joe.
Yeah. Good morning, Joe. Yeah, hey, Dorn. I agree with that. I mean, Dorn. I know you watched the game. I thought one of the things that the two Toms said that was pretty true in terms of the Bears' defense this year. A lot like the 06 team. Bend, don't break, generate turnovers. But unlike the 06 team, Dorn, this defense doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. The 06 defense did. That's a big difference. This defense does not score a lot of touchdowns. They get turnovers. But yeah. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. With Ivan, it's all from his fan bias because Brisker and Gordon, who were tearing everyone up the last couple of years, they're not that good. Sweat's a disappointment. He's not that good either. None of your players on the Bears are that good. Okay, Ivan. See you in the playoffs, bud.
I think Ivan's a Bears fan. And I've heard a lot of people say that Sweat has been a disappointment. Now, granted, he looked freaking awesome last Sunday going against fucking the bust of fucking Jordan Morgan because holy shit, he ran him the fuck over like he was a piece of paper.
The bust of Jordan Morgan.
Oh, dude, I was trying to fucking give Morgan the fucking benefit of the doubt, and he was kind of serviceable at left guard. He was better than Sean Ryan was at left guard. But as soon as we put Belton in, he's found himself off the roster, off the starting lineup, and now that we had to have him start a full game at right tackle, I do not want to see him at tackle. We better re-sign Rasheed Walker.
And you need to replant your guard, and Dorn, you're right. Whoever signs Willis next year, if it's not the Packers, is getting a very solid quarterback. Ken and I were talking about this before the show.
I hope, beg and pray, we re-sign him as the
Willis
backup.
is in a group of maybe 5 backup quarterbacks that I would consider elite in this league as far as backup quarterback.
I just want to know, what you meant by the bust of Jordan Morgan. Is it Jordan Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you mean by the bust? Did you mean that he's an overall bust, or did you mean like the Hall of Fame bust? Like you might as well have had a statue.
He was
out there
all John Genty bust.
I don't give a shit what kind of bust you want to call this bitch. You could call him the bus on a milkmaid, and that'd be just about as fucking helpful as he has been.
Speaking of bust, the Raiders. Yeah,
I am totally off the Jordan Morgan train.
You must not have seen that game yesterday because Ashton Genty went off yesterday.
No. That's what I was saying. After watching the game yesterday, and if you're a Raiders fan, you got to be going, why the hell do we have Geno Smith and we got Genty, who against the number 1 defense in his league put up over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns? And you're like, man, if we had a competent offense, we could have won a shitload of games with Genty back there and with Brock Bowers. And we got Max and nothing. And it's like, here's a talent level. Those guys and then everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like.
But you know what? If you're a Raiders fan, I think you took some positives away from yesterday because
you did.
We've been getting our asses kicked for weeks now. And I mean, that 31-0 against the Eagles. I think we had a 30 or 24-0 against the Chiefs in there, a few weeks
Joe,
back.
Hold on, I gotta do something. This isn't directed at you. Okay. The number 2 seed in the NFC is not a top 10 team, not even close. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
But you know, if you're a Raiders fan, I think you took
No.
something positive from yesterday because it's like you've been wanting to see, like you want them to still lose to get that draft spot for the quarterback, but you want to see a little bit of fire in them. You know what I mean? You want to see like that they're at least competitive. And
Well, you saw it from Genty, you see it from Max, but you want to see it from the other folks who and they've packed it in, which means you guys probably get a lot of wholesale changes, and maybe that
well,
includes the coach.
yeah, but we lost by 2 points, dude. And like I'm so overall, it was a watchable game. You know, it was the perfect outcome for a Raider fan who thinks like me. You know, which was like, good. We're still on. You know, the tank is still on track, and we can get our quarterback, but we didn't look like absolute dog shit. And where it's like, you know, oh man, there's no hope for this franchise. You know, like I thought it was a good balance, but that Bears Packers game, dude. I just wanted to say, like, I thought it was awesome. So early in the game, when Keyshawn Nixon took that cheap ass shot on DJ Moore, I messaged Ken and I was like, bro, I'm all for rivalry, but that was a cheap ass shot. And he was like, and he messaged me back. And Ken messaged me back and he was like, yeah, that was a cheap ass hit, dude. And then so I just thought it was so fitting that DJ Moore catches the game winner on Keyshawn Nixon, dude. Like,
hey, while Keyshawn Nixon was draped around him like a cape, I mean, he was like,
I just felt like that was poetic justice. That was like chef's kiss. You know what I mean?
Oh wait,
that wasn't a cheap shot. Are you kidding? Well, all right. I'm not. Thorne's got to be trolling with that one because
Green Bay. Look, you have to give the Packers a lot of credit too because. And they did what the Lions did last year, right? They lost their best defensive player and they reacted. And we heard top 5 defense, and they said top 5 defense. I don't know how many times in the broadcast Saturday, right? But they adjusted. Well, the pass rush wasn't as good as it should have been for them. No, but was the defense still really good? Yeah, they stepped up. Their defense stepped up. And look if not for the bad. And Ben Johnson took ownership of that play call because it didn't work with the ball sailing over Genty's head on the direct snap. You know, and he said, look, I love what he said at halftime. And they said, what's the problem with the offense? And his response to the reporter was, me. I'm the biggest problem to the offense right now. He literally said that he was the problem. And I love that self-awareness about him as a coach. I mean, they moved the ball great, and then they kind of got deflated after that play imploded. But Green Bay, give them credit because their defense held really good without Micah Parsons. You know, I mean, it's no Micah Parsons and no Kenny Clark. So that for me was a big distinction between this year's defense and last year's defense. But they played really well. They covered really well on the receiving core. They were on the tight ends. They weren't able necessarily to stop the run, and that's where I think the problem I have with maybe the play calling was we would running over 5 yards a clip, and then we'd go do a pass play that wouldn't work for whatever reason. And then the very next play would be a run play, and the Packers knew it would be a run play, and they would stop it. Right? So there was some of that. I was like, okay. I love guys like Ivan who just want to tear this Bears team down. That's all he's doing. Got it, Ivan. You hate the Bears today. I got it. Look at Ivan. You can be as negative as you want about this Bears team, but here are the facts. They've won 11 games. There's a number 2 seed in the NFC right. I don't care what you compare them to. You can have all your excuses as to why they're not that good. At the end of the day, it's 11 W's. It doesn't matter how you got them. The fact is you got them. You don't get them because you suck. You get them because you're in position to get them. Whether it be by, as you will say, a fluky play or not, is irrelevant. The fact that you're in the position to get the W is what's relevant. So this is a good. You're not telling the truth at all. I don't
understand how you could call that win fluky when because they recovered the onside kick. Is that the fluky part?
Yeah, because before that onside kick, they had a 0 0.8 or
It was
0.9%
the
chance of
percentage
winning.
was super low, and they recovered the onside kick. So he's like, "Oh, it's all flukiness." So to Ivan, it's
It,
fluky, and
and
it's facts that the Bears suck. It's like,
and speaking of Ken giving props to Ben Johnson there for taking the heat there, I got to do the same thing for Romeo Dobbs, because instead of like other players that have made giant gaffes like that of just running away as soon as they get off the field, he sat there at his locker, did the interview, and
yeah.
said, "This one was all on me. I've made that play 1,000 times, and this time I let it fall out. It was all
Well,
on me."
I think there are two things with that. One, he made the mistake of kind of looking up a little bit at the last moment there to see who was going to hit him. So he took his eyes off the ball. And that's a common mistake that receivers make all the time. We just don't talk about a lot, but they do. Well, we do talk about it when it's a big drop pass. But dude, how many drop passes do we see throughout a year where a receiver starts looking away early? We saw it a couple games in Saturday night's game for both teams, actually.
Now, are we
Piece of
talking
that
about the
was
whole league or just Green Bay receivers?
no,
Because
I'm
I've
just
seen a
talking in
lot of drops
general,
from them.
the whole league. We see it all the time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is like that was not an easy ball to catch coming off that Cairo Santos kick. It's not like the ball's a nice, neat little spiral you're catching. It's moving, it's tumbling, it's cold out. It's like it's extra normal. It's not your normal catch to begin with, and then you take your eyes off of it the last second. I mean, and the reason I quantify the second piece is we see what happens when the ball's a nice, tight little spiral. It's a very nicely thrown ball that you should be able to catch easy. This was not an easy ball to catch to begin with, and then
Yeah,
you
this
take
was a
your eye off.
knuckleball.
It's a knuckleball. Thank you. That's what I was looking
You
for.
know, and I saw in the NFL Reddit app, the NFL subreddit, like on that game thread, there was a lot of people that wanted to run Dobbs out of town on a rail, dude. Like they were like, Dobbs has got to go.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Romeo Dobbs can die. I saw
You know,
Romeo Dobbs can die.
okay, that is absolutely way too far with it. Now, am I with the fact of we can let Romeo Dobbs leave in free agency? You know, I'm a part of that train, and it's not like the guy hasn't done anything for us or this and that. My my issue my issue with him is that he's just so up and down with it. I want more consistency out of the receiver.
Hey,
So
but
get
there
your
was
money
there
somewhere.
was some Packers fans that were going full on Ray Finkel, dude. Like, you know what I mean? They were like,
Look, Romeo Dobbs had a good game overall Saturday until that last play. Because really, without Romeo Dobbs, he was the receiver that was getting the ball in the offense.
Oh yeah. That's who Malik Willis was looking for each time he was throwing the ball was Dobbs.
Well, yeah, 'cause you can't miss that helmet.
"Hey, kid, I made some refreshments, Dan. Would you like some refreshments, Dan?" And I'm telling you, dude, they were like, "Die, Romeo, die!" Like, oh my god, dude. I was like, guys, I mean, I get it. It's the Bears Packers, but like, this man he's a human being, and he made a mistake, dude. He's not the first Green Bay Packer to drop an onside kick and lose a game. I remember there was one back in.
Did you really have to bring up fucking Brandon Bostic? Because I can tell you that is exactly 1,000% why Romeo Dobbs got all the hate that he did.
I'm aware.
Because as soon as I watched that, I'm like, holy fuck, it's Bostic all over again. But at least this one didn't hit him in the face; it just hit him in the belly.
Here's another thing. I want to give both place kickers for both teams a lot of credit. And granted, Green Bay's field goals were more like chip shots, right? But we saw how that win was on a throw 20 yards out, let alone kicking from 28 or 30 yards out. And then you look at Santos from 48, 50 yards out, bending it like Beckham, right? Which then leads you to the Caleb Williams throw. That ball was in the air for 60 yards, that touchdown to DJ. That ball, he threw it from the Bears 45, and DJ caught it about almost 5 yards deep into the end zone. That ball was in the air for 60. You want to talk about accuracy on a day where the field goal kickers kicking a 48-yarder have to bend it like Beckham, and he threw that thing on a rope.
I was just gonna say that wind was crazy because you saw that pass where he threw it. It was a pass I think Caleb threw where he had a guy. I wouldn't say wide open, but open enough. But the ball, like he threw it. It was on target, but you saw the wind take it.
It
No, that
was
was
a great
Malik.
night. Yeah, it was a
Or it
Green
was
Bay.
Malik. Yeah,
was
so
a
it was
Green
like
Bay.
Yeah, it was
boom.
You saw it, it was heading straight for him. This is a touchdown. All of a sudden, the wind just grabs. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that was like
and
whoa.
that should tell you about accuracy and arm strength, man.
Yeah.
I think Caleb has some of that.
But
That
I
was
actually want to give credit
insane.
to all the quarterbacks in that game because Jordan Love was playing pretty well before
Yeah.
he went down, and Caleb Williams I think established himself. Like I think like to do it not once but twice, like to take him down in the 2-minute drill and get the touchdown, and then to take him down in not even take him down in overtime to win on a bomb in overtime.
Yeah.
I think he established himself as
Uh-huh.
like a
And
clutch player. And Malik Willis, just let me finish this real quick. Malik Willis, like I'm sure Packer fans, even though Malik Willis has played really well for you guys, I'm sure when Jordan Love went down, there's a part of you that's like, oh shit, this is exactly what we needed. But at least Willis has done well for us, so you have hope, right? I think Willis acquitted himself very well. Like
I was very thoroughly impressed with Malik Willis because when Jordan Love went down, it was okay. Malik can lead us for a drive and Jordan Love can get back in. We'll be all right. And then once Jordan Love was out of the game, it was holy shit. I hope Malik Willis can pull this one off.
I think though with Malik Willis, so the thing that I said this yesterday on House Hall. I said it pre-show to Ken. I think Malik Willis actually coming in was actually better for the Packers and maybe leaving Love in certain ways. For instance, the Bears weren't ready for Malik Willis. He's a different type of quarterback. He definitely uses his legs a lot more. And the Bears have a problem with quarterbacks that can run. This defense, we're good against running backs per se. But quarterbacks that can run, they get us for chunks. And Malik got us for chunks yesterday. Look, he's one of those elite backup quarterbacks in this league. Like I put him in that category, especially after what he did last year. And Tyson Bagent goes in that category, and Mac Jones is in that category, and what's his name in Baltimore is in that category. And now you can go with the old man Flacco is in that category now. Like Willis is going to get a contract, and if Green Bay doesn't retain him to be their backup, he'll go. I don't see Malik going anywhere unless he can be a starter. He's not going to go sign with Buffalo to be a backup, right?
Mhm.
He's going to sign somewhere else if he can start. I don't know though if someone's willing to offer him a starting gig, but I'll tell you what, based on what we saw last year when he took over for Love for 4 or 5 games, and off of last night, and we'll see if he plays. He may play this week against Baltimore. We'll see how long Love's in protocol for.
That's what I'm hoping for because as far as I can remember, this is Jordan Love's first concussion as a pro. I don't.
No, I think he has one other. We can maybe we'll look that one up. I think he might have one other, but still, I mean, even with concussion protocol, it doesn't matter if you're first, you're fifth. You could still be out more than the week. We've seen guys on their very first one be out a whole season.
Okay. Can everybody stop going after my backup quarterback? I'd like to fucking keep him here.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to be able to, man, because I think Willis has shown that he's and let's be real about it. Like to anyone who was going to say, well, he already had a chance to start. He started for the Tennessee Titans, right? Like you see what they are and what they have been for the last few years. Like I wouldn't really call that a legitimate starting shot. I think he has a chance to go somewhere where a team is a little better than the Titans were.
Ivan's got a good case though I'll agree with Ivan on this. The Colts are a good landing spot because look at Indiana Jones is going to be out for probably 4 to 8 games next year at least, right? On this Achilles, probably. He's not starting the season. Malik Willis has a real good chance of being a starter and might be a cheaper option than Mac Jones. Both those guys are looking for contracts. So yeah, Willis could go there. Mac Jones could go there. Arizona, I think if they move off of Kyler, because there are grumblings that they want off his contract. There are some grumblings starting right now, but I think they might do it in the draft because they're going to be drafting well enough where
I also wouldn't be shocked if they stuck with Jacoby Brissett because he's actually made that offense kind of hum a little bit. It's not
So, I mean,
anything like super amazing, but good enough till maybe you find the permanent guy.
if Vegas can't get a quarterback in the draft, but I think like there are a couple teams. If you look at the top 10 draft positions, only like 2 teams really are looking for a quarterback. And I don't know if Arizona, drafts one. They might be signing one instead, but it's going to be interesting. Brissett, and like I don't know how much faith I have in this rookie class of quarterbacks. I mean, this year is not really setting up a ton of fireworks on this quarterback class either. So I could see where if you're Kyle, they're going to move on from Kyler. I don't know if you bring in Willis, you might keep Brissett, but then like Willis makes sense in Indy where he knows he's going to at least start for maybe half the year, and if he's doing well, they're not look at if you're Malik Willis and you go to Indy and you start the year off 6-2, and now Indiana Jones is back from injury. You'd have to figure they're not going to bench you if you're 6-2 at that point. You're still the hot hand. They're going to go with you. It's your job to lose at that point. So, that's a good situation there in a way. It's because if you look at the other teams that need a quarterback, Vegas, yeah, you'd probably go there to start. But what do you have around you? So Vegas is one. Arizona, like I said, if they don't draft one, I don't know if they get rid of Kyler. If they get rid of Kyler, maybe they keep Brissett. It's going to be an interesting offseason, but Willis definitely has afforded himself or put himself over last year and this year in terms of his backup quarterback play so far to get a contract. And he might get, and we'll see. I don't know. He might get a start this week against. Look at this Packers Ravens game is going to be a barn burner this week because they're both playing for their playoff lives in one way or the other. Because
I thought the Ravens are damn near eliminated.
They have to win out, and then okay. Are you guys? I think you guys are the noon game. If you're the noon game, at that point they won't know if they're eliminated.
No, we're playing on fucking Peacock or fucking Paramount on Saturday.
On Saturday, but when do the Steelers play?
Oh, hold on.
Here, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, with Arizona,
the Steelers do play at 1 on Sunday.
See, so at that point they won't know if they're eliminated because the Steelers have to win a game. If they win out and the Steelers lose out, they can, I think, still get in. They're not eliminated yet. Yeah. The Packers obviously need to win at least. Look, the Packers need to win one of 2 things. They need to either beat the Ravens or beat the Vikings, or the Lions lose a game. That's all they got to do. They control their destiny. The Lions have to lose out, and the Packers have, the Lions have to win out, and the Packers have to lose out for the Lions to get in. So the NFC is pretty well buttoned up overall. Well, if the Bears lose out and they win out, they can get in as well. So I mean, it's a pretty simple scenario in the NFC. The seeding positions, I don't know if anyone now can catch. Well, after tonight, we'll know about the 6th seed. If San Francisco is pretty much going to be locked in, where they may be locked. If they win tonight, I think they kind of lock in the 6th seed. So, look, we're going to have a Bears-Packers game in a couple weeks again because why not?
And if Green Bay wins out and Chicago happens to lose out, Green Bay still can win the division.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the North is the only thing somewhat complicated. It's not uber complicated.
I was going to say I'm definitely ready for a rubber match in the playoffs.
Well, we're going to get a rubber match either way in the playoffs, whether it's in Chicago or Green Bay.
I sincerely don't care where. I just hope Jordan Love gets to play a full game.
Yeah, Fred. Mathematically, you're still in it, but for all intents and purposes, yeah. I mean, yeah. Um, and we're gonna get a third game. And look, I'm actually happier to play the Packers in the postseason to start it off than the Lions because, like I said last week, it really sucks to play a team twice in 2 weeks. I'm like, that's just I hate. I like the NFL puts these division games back to the end, but then you get in this kind of situation. I don't care if those Packers Lions. I would say the same thing. I just think it's really sucky as a fan to have teams play twice in 2 weeks. It's like, give them a little bit of space in between the games, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever.
Nah. Put for when it comes playoff time, put that sumbitch right back to back. I don't give a shit. We'll beat the shit out of each other this week, next week, and
Yeah.
I'd say the week after, but somebody's going home.
Yeah, someone's gonna go home on that one. So I mean, there we go. They don't have to win out to get
No,
in.
we don't have to win out. Green Bay only needs one victory out of either of the two or a Lions loss.
So here's what we go. The Bears go to Santa Clara on Sunday Night Football next week. If the Bears win that game, they clinch the division. That makes that easy. If the Lions lose next week, the Packers clinch a playoff spot. That makes that easy. If all three of us lose next week,
the Bears
still clinch the division, and the Packers still clinch a playoff spot.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's the NFC North is the only thing complicated because the AFC South is simple, right? I
was going to say that's not even complicated because out of most of those scenarios, we get in by the two greatest words in the English dictionary: default.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then you look at the other question marks. You know, the NFC West, all three teams are in. It doesn't matter who's going to be on top of that division. Fine. If you look at the South, it's like, okay, if Carolina loses this week and Baker pulls off a win, week 18 is for all the marbles. Even if both teams win, it's still for all the marbles, and then they got to go to a tiebreak. So, you know, the South could be kind of, you know, look at if Carolina wins and Tampa loses, that division's over, right? And that wraps up the South, and then it's just the North. And if we all three lose next week, cool, that's wrapped up too. The NFC West gets a little more complicated with it being a 3-dog race. But the playoff picture is taking shape. But I just thought it was funny that at the beginning of the year when I said, look, you know, 8 to 10 is what I expect, and a dark horse, and just that the idea of the Bears being a dark horse was laughable, and yet they're the first team to clinch in the NFC North. You know, even a couple weeks ago, the Bears won't make the playoffs. Well, guess what? They made the playoffs. They clinched. Which I'm like, I'm on house money right now, so I'm happy. I mean, not only did we get 11 wins, we beat the Packers. Hey, I've seen improvement. I've seen what I needed to see. If we can go further, this is all house. This is bonus money. This is the Bears playing free right now. And, you know, it's been an interesting year. And it goes to what Ivan said about fluke plays, this, that, and the other. Look, we see this every year with teams that go deep in playoffs. Like the teams that, I don't know if you can generate luck, right? But the thing is as you start to get some of these things, right, you get a confidence in your team that you can come back and win these games. Like to the fault, they asked Bears player, you know, guys about the game this week. Oh yeah, we knew we could still win this game because they've done it before. So it kind of builds that kind of resiliency within teams. Some teams have resiliency, some teams don't. A team that didn't have any resiliency this year, Washington. After that Bears game, they went on an 8-game losing streak. Kind of like how the Bears went on a 10-game losing streak after losing on the Hail Mary. So once again, Ivan, you know, these things happen for reasons, right? Some of it's coaching, right? Some of it's being able to be resilient. Some of it's creating your own luck. You know, some of it is, just getting lucky. That's all part of the game.
And there's a saying, you know, for a reason, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Like, you know, I'll take the lucky team in the playoffs, man. Like, when the ball when the ball seems to be bouncing your way, like, that's a good feeling, dude. Like, you know, so
I wouldn't say the
And
Bears are a dark horse.
I'm
to
not
make
saying
the
that they're.
playoffs
I'm not.
every year.
Oh, I was going to say I'm not saying that they're lucky and not good. I'm just saying that I think they're pretty good, and they're. I wouldn't. The ball seems to be bouncing their way a bit. That onside kick definitely was against the odds, and it went their way. So, like, they seem to have a little bit of luck on their side too. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to talk about the epic meltdown in Tampa Bay, dude. Like, they started the season looking like a Super Bowl contender, and now they'll be lucky if they win their division. When they started off with like a freaking 3-game lead, dude. Like, I
For
don't.
the first time in a decade, Carolina stands alone on top of that division.
It's.
Who would have thought that?
I don't understand how the Bucks managed to let it slip through their fingers like that.
It's because they're pulling guys off the streets to play in the secondary for like the last like half a season. And Baker Mayfield, both of his shoulders are banged up as well. Like literally, he's got like shoulder injuries to both of his shoulders.
And Baker, man, like the dude can only will you so far. He can only will you to victory so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he used a lot of his Baker magic early in the year, and he willed that team to victory so many times. And then you go, well, look, Baker does Baker things. So they've always got a shot, but Broski's right. That defense, for as good as their front can be, their back end has been terrible.
Yep. And on offense, they haven't really had Mike Evans, Godwin, and Igbuka together out there. Maybe like once or twice the entire season. And a lot of times they've only had one out of those three guys out there. So yeah, it's just been a shit show for them. But yeah, the Panthers control their own destiny now.
Ivan actually makes a pretty decent point. I think they were better than 8-1 in one-score games. They didn't win like 11 one-score games that year.
I don't remember what the number was.
It was up there. Ivan might be right.
Are you talking about the Vikings the other year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it was 10. I think they won 10 like one-score games or something like that.
And there's the second part of his comment. But the thing with this league, dude, 70% of the games in this league are decided by one score. I mean, that's when we're doing. That's what I'm saying. When we're doing preseason predictions, and you hear think of it this way: 3 teams that were in last place last year have already clinched playoff positions for this year, right?
Yeah.
The worst to first is a very common thing. Why? Because even your teams that we think are dog shit, like this year, we think are dog shit this year, are still losing a lot of close games. Cleveland lost a lot of close games. The Titans were in a lot of games.
Who the fuck saw Cleveland playing the Bills to the wire?
That's what I'm saying. So next year that could flip, because when 70% of your games in a league are within one score, parity is pretty good. So I mean, when someone says a team could be between 6 to 10 win teams, to be honest with you, to ding myself, that's a pretty safe call to make. A gutsier call to make is say, no, they're going to win 11 or 12 games, or no, they're only going to win 3 in some ways, because the parity is such in this league that 70% of your games are a one-score game. The difference, I think, comes down to some of that other stuff, like the luck of the ball, the flukiness, or the resiliency of a team believing they can win. When a team starts thinking, "Oh, here we go again," happens.
Yeah,
Judkins snapped his leg.
Oh, dude, it was fucking bad. Pretty much
a broken leg. Plus knee,
say this is his leg, and here's his knee. It broke right below the knee, but it was off like this, pointing.
Oh,
I heard the full injury on Judkins. But it's a broken leg, plus possibly a knee injury, plus possibly an ankle injury. I mean, I don't know if the dude's playing next year.
I don't know if that dude's playing again with how bad that looked.
Oh, that's a shame, man.
Because he looked awesome.
Man, yeah, he looked like he was going to be legit, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was just telling the old lady during that game that he looked like he's going to be one of the best running backs for the next 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, he was winning the out of all the running backs drafted this year, he was looking like he was like the aside from Travion Henderson, he was looking like he was the most promising dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I would take the Browns to win the AFC North for next year right now, especially with Junkins being out. Now they have a running back issue.
Yeah,
If Junkins wasn't going to be hurt, I figured next year. I figured if without Junkins' injury, and if the way if Shador is going to be their quarterback next year, and Myles Garrett keeps playing like Myles Garrett does, that look at that division is completely winnable by any one of those teams in that division. I wouldn't be surprised if next year Cincinnati wins that division. If they draft defense with their quarterback and that offense they've got, oh yeah, they can win. That division's up for grabs. And then you look at the Steelers. Well, they might not have a quarterback because Aaron said this was his last season, but is it his last season?
I don't know.
Yeah, if they go to the playoffs and lose and they're one and done, is Tomlin back? So are they having a new head coach and new quarterback next year? I mean, you look at the AFC North next year, Ivan. You could almost just, like I said this year for this division. If you remember at the beginning of the year, I said when people said, "Well, who's going to win the division?" I said, "Flip a quarter," because this division, even now, it's still. I mean, the Bears are in pole position, but still flip a quarter. The AFC North is going to be one of those divisions next year. You're probably going to flip a quarter.
If I'm Cleveland, I'm looking in that 7th round. I'm going to get me a Rutgers running back.
There you go.
And yeah, Bill, Jacobs would have been our emergency third quarterback if it came to it.
So, guys, I didn't really catch the show at the beginning, or like the first half of the show. Did you guys touch on the Steelers-Lions game at all? Did you get into that?
A little bit.
Tiny bit.
So I wonder
I can say this, from what I've seen on social media, I thought the Packer fans had cried a fair amount, but then I realized most of that's just Bill the Packer fan doing what Bill does, and that's cool. But like on X, like, dude, Lions fans, oh my god,
yeah, they are unhinged. Yeah, they're
which to me is ridiculous because it was a clear push off. Like you could totally see it. It's
they're saying the
obvious.
play before shouldn't have been a penalty. It's at the point though where you're complaining about penalties or lack of penalties for why you lost the game. You've already lost the argument.
Guys, all I can say is this: the Steelers, with their banged up, terrible offensive line, with 2 running backs who are just known as like dual threat running backs, they're not known as like great rushers. You know what I mean? They ran for 230 yards, and the Lions only ran for 15. So, like, I wonder if it was a prop bet and how much you would have gotten paid if you would have picked Aaron Rodgers would have more rushing yards this game than Jahmyr Gibbs, because he did.
Which is scary.
Which is insane. So, and here's another thing about the Lions fans crying. That last drive when they drove down there, they got 2 personal fouls on the Steelers to help get them down there. So it was like,
Fred, I love you, dude. You're freaking great. Fred is great. Oh. I mean, but the refs didn't make a difference, right? St. Brown made the difference with pushing off.
I mean, it's just what Lions fans do.
And this is what you missed at the beginning, Broski. I said, the only thing I can complain about the refs in that game with that play is after they had their long discussion, everyone's like, okay, who won this game? And the ref comes out and goes, it was a touchdown. So he acknowledges the Goff scores a touchdown. Goes, but there was a flag on the play. It's like, he just had I mean, if he would just come out and say, okay, there was a flag for this and whatever, the controversy might not be as much.
Yeah,
but no, this dude said, here, let me give you your heart. Now let me rip it out from your chest, stomp on it, spit on it, and take a leak on it. I mean,
dude, we got to see the air golf. We got to see air golf on that one. We got to see the baby giraffe legs fly through the air. That was freaking hilarious.
Oh, I mean, look at they came back. They stayed in that game, but this year, tell me they didn't miss Ben Johnson. They did. It was obvious.
Yeah,
they were mortal.
I'm still thinking about Judkins, man. That sucks, dude.
Dude, that's insane.
Oh yeah, because
so it was worse than the Chubb's leg break.
I'm gonna say if it's not worse, it's at very least on par with it.
Damn. And you see Chubbs, and shout out to Broski because, I felt like when Chubbs came back, I was like, if he could be 75% of Chubbs, he could still be good. Or Chubb, he could be still good, but he hasn't even been 75%, dude.
And running backs who take like
Broski,
massive.
Broski said he would be washed after that leg, and he was right.
You know what'd be interesting? What'd be interesting? Let the Jets cut Justin Fields, and the Browns sign Justin Fields, but not to be their starting quarterback. Let him become their new Taysom Hill.
If you feature him more heavily as a running back than as like a tight end, I'm on board with that. I thought you were going to try and make the case for making him the starter quarterback over there.
No.
Come on, guys.
I was about to lose my fucking mind here.
I've been advocating him I've been advocating. And by the way, Taysom Hill had a bomb touchdown this week.
He did.
Yeah, I would advocate Justin as a Taysom Hill. You know what's great about that Taysom Hill touchdown? Now you have to respect him throwing again. You just have to do it every so often. Let Taysom Hill throw a touchdown. Now you have teams are. Is he going to be receivers? Is he going to be a running back? Is he going to be a tight end, or is he going to be a quarterback? Do that with Justin with Shador, because look at any quarterback that gets drafted in this league, and this goes for Shador. Given the right stuff, Shador could rip this league up. He could. Given
I was going to say they could be a nasty tandem, because I will give it to Shador. He can throw the ball pretty decently, and Justin Fields can run like crazy. Shador has very little wheels. He's got like two gears.
Think about that combination, though. You could have a play where
keep them both on the field at the same time all the time.
Yeah. Do like the Bears play where they had Bagent, where Kayla takes the snap, throws the ball back to Bagent, and then Bagent can either run it, throw it, whatever, right? You could run that play, and you could run it in any combination. You could put Shador on the outside, you could put Justin on the outside, and you could throw to either of them, or either of them could run it. Or there's so many different ways you could run a play with those two guys, quarterback / running back / tight end / wide receiver, whatever. Where you're like, because both of them have the athletic ability. Now we don't know about Shador catching the ball or Justin catching the ball per se, but let's say they can. Dude, could you imagine the play possibilities Stefanski would have with those two guys on his offense? And then
could also run direct snap to Justin Fields, direct snap runs, like Wildcat stuff. Like you could do a lot.
Yes, Bill. I love that bomb from Caleb in the end zone for the touchdown.
I was going to say, speaking of guys who can run and throw, a quarterback who's really looking good, and he was one of my guys going into this draft, Tyler Shuck, man. Dude is really starting to look like he belongs. Like he's looking like a legit franchise quarterback. He's got that kind of potential.
So you look at the draft this year, it's like there aren't many.
As a quarterback, I think
maybe, but I think he can do what Tebow refused to do, but do what a certain Swiss Army knife in Nola did, and have he shows that you can have a very long career in this league as a quarterback that doesn't play quarterback.
Did you guys
get paid to do it?
I hear you. Did you guys see that hit on the Steelers-Lions game? It was like one of my favorite plays of the game. It was fourth quarter. That big motherfucking tight end, Washington, caught a pass, all 6'7", 310 pounds of him. Did you see him truck little DJ Smurf Reed, the little 5'8"?
No, but I will be looking that up now, bros.
He trucked him, was near the sideline. He trucked him so hard, he splat. The dude just like right on his back, arms out, like he was doing a snow angel, like on the ground. Like, I didn't know if they were going to be able to scrape him off the turf, man. That was hilarious.
I don't know if he made. Hindsight's always going to be 20/20. But when Justin when the Steelers let him go, and I know there were tons of Steeler fans who were mad that they let him go because he was 4-2 as a Steeler. What were his options? And the Jets were like, "We're going to give you $40 million to make you a starter." I thought, like, for him, his style of play would have been better in Miami to back up Tua. And you'd figure with Tua, you'd grab a concussion or something, you'd get in. I thought that would have been the smarter move. But like, Yeah. I mean, but if you were Justin, I don't know where else you were going to go last year in free agency. I mean, I think he would have rather have stayed in Pittsburgh. And I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans would have liked him to stay, but now at this point, I think yeah, you've got to be a Taysom Hill now, right? You've got to be a Taysom Hill now if you're Justin Fields. Hey, let's not forget we got a game to watch tonight. We've only got a few minutes left, dude. This game tonight's actually a pretty big game, right? The Colts. I mean, if they lose, they're done. They're playing to stay in. I mean, San Francisco's in. So is there maybe a little bit of a letdown because they were in yesterday by default with that Lions loss. They're in. Is there room for the Colts to win this game in Santa Clara?
Maybe, but I don't hold out too much of hope because unfortunately San Francisco's playing well.
Yeah, but Rivers, I thought Rivers acquitted himself well in his first showing. I think there's a shot. Yeah, I think with more practice, like he should hopefully be able to play even better than he did last time. So there's a shot. I mean, they're playing for their lives. There's something to be said for that. But it's going to be an uphill climb, that's for sure.
What do you think, Broski?
Yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy's the quarterback. I mean, he can fold any week, in my opinion. Like he could have a random 3 interception week and keep the other team in the game. That's how I look at it. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how this game plays out, man. Definitely has some ramifications for like NFC seeding, who's in, who's out, that kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, I think if they win, it puts a little pressure on the Bears to keep winning, to keep 2 and not fall to 3. Because there's that scenario too, where the Bears could theoretically fall to the 3 seed. Correct? Is there? I'm trying. No, there. Well, yeah, there is, and that's on the Eagles. That's the Eagles, though. For the Niners, it makes sense for in the division. This is what I hate about this part of year. It's an exciting part of year, but at the same time, you get some point where, okay, we're locked in, so we'll just kind of like be vanilla. And look, if you don't think the Packers and Bears games the last 2 weeks, if you don't think those playbooks were vanilla, they were.
Yeah, I mean,
the point we played 2 weeks ago, we both had the idea our odds of getting the playoffs are pretty good. And if you think that either coaching staffs for Green Bay or Chicago emptied out playbooks in the last couple games, no, they were still pretty darn vanilla overall, defensive scheme wise, offensive scheme wise. They're starting the playoff teams are starting to install their offense, their playoff playbooks, right, at practice. They're not really using that shit in the games yet because they kind of know, okay, we don't have to pull out all the bags of tricks at this point. They're trying to show as little as possible. So that's what I hate about this part of the season. Like you're still gonna get some good football, but you're also gonna get some games you're like, you just know it's kind of vanilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if the Bears beat the 49ers next week, they win the division and they're locked into nothing less than a 2 seed. So they can either be the 2 or the 1 seed. Right. So I mean, really, when you think about it, if that happens, I mean, dude, are they resting starters the last week against the Lions?
I think Ben Johnson wants to beat Detroit because of week 2. To be honest with you, I think the Bears.
I hear you, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see how it plays out.
I think as long as you stay healthy, you play your starters. And the Bears are relatively healthy. Green Bay, if I'm Green Bay, I'd maybe rest Josh Jacobs, for example. But
I would go a happy medium. I would like play my starters for the first quarter just so they get some action, and then I'd pull them just because I don't want to risk losing anybody for the playoffs.
Yeah, or maybe like the first half, or maybe even in the third quarter a little bit, just to keep it going, and then pull them before start rotate. Or maybe you play them the whole game, but you just rotate them more than normal, like the guys you rotate, like your O-line and stuff like that. So, oh Jesus. So hey guys,
how are we gonna say? I always loved Scott
Hall. No, Ivan. I don't think DJ Moore should get traded. Hey guys, we're out of time. JB's up next. So thank you guys for watching this morning. Don't forget JB's on next. We'll be back tomorrow. Programming note: we will not have a show on Christmas morning on Thursday. We will be here Wednesday. We will be here Friday. So enjoy the game tonight, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. For all of us here at Ken and Ken, have a great day. Merry Christmas.